Speed and speed equals.
What is mass number?
Satan equals mass. Oh.
Mass number is the total number of protons and neutrons. Is how many things are in the nucleus.
So my Wi-Fi just slow a little bit. So gotta give me a minute, buddy.
How do you find number of neutrons?
Isotopes.
How many protons are in this isotope?
Oh. I'm doing this fast. What?
The bottom left number is the atomic numbers. How many protons are in it? The top one's mass number. How many electrons are in this isotope?
Oh, 30.
So, unless otherwise stated, we'll assume electrons and protons are the same number. Isotopes only change the number of neutrons.
I'm in 4.
How many neutrons are in this isotope?
I'm gonna get right to the time. We're assuming it's neutral.
Mm-hmm. So 13 minus 6 is 7.
I hate life.
So you just subtract those numbers to get the number of neutrons.
Yeah, I get it. Oh my god.
How many protons are in this isotope?
I swear to God, I'm just trying. I'm hitting virtually every time. Oh my god. Maybe you should just quit.
So again, the atomic number is bottom left. How many electrons are in this isotope?
I got it right. Good job, Thomas. I'm 9th place by 1,600 points behind Cameron. Is that good?
How many neutrons are in this isotope?
13.
12 minus 6 is 6.
Oh, that's cap. That's cap. I'm pretty short second. Good job, move it up.
How many protons are in this isotope?
Oh my god. 0.
Hydrogen only has 1 proton.
Are you dumb, John? Well, I clicked it because I thought it was gonna.
How many electrons?
0.
So, normally hydrogen only has a single proton and a single electron.
Hey, what's that? Well, we got nitrogen. 2.
So, 1 minus 1 is 0.
I didn't get it wrong. But 1.
How many neutrons are in this
I
isotope?
know this one. You're like big 3 then. I did choose 3. I thought, God, I thought
3 minus 1 is
I chose 1.
2.
Oh. Wait, what?
How many protons are in this isotope?
Good job.
Hydrogen always has 1 proton. It wouldn't be hydrogen otherwise.
I'm behind C.
How many electrons are in this isotope? How many electrons are in this isotope?
Oh. Dang it!
Same as the number of protons.
Are you laughing at my...
How many neutrons are in this isotope?
I got it right. I did quick math.
15 minus 7 is 8.
I'm 3,000 points behind Kobe. I'm not third. Because you literally have... What's your name?
How many protons?
Go. Dang it. I'm 4,000 points behind Kobe. I came in last place, guys. I'm the 8th loser. I need us there. It was great. It's gonna be it at 84 correct. I was the other 16%. Yeah. I need a tutor. You don't need a tutor, you can't pay attention. No, I know what I just don't buy it. I'm too hyped today. Is it hot here today? How are you hyped today?
70 degrees, same as always.
Yes.
Put your mask back on.
Well, you can't listen to me. Hey, Mr. West, everybody's gonna get sleepy. You're just gonna hear me dribble it. I got an orange phone. So, how come one, aka me, so this morning I got a triple knock in my mouth, right? That in your class, but in 6th period, right? I was using my hoodie as a deal.
That doesn't.
When my hoodie's thicker than these masks, and I was wearing like a mask, but these masks are thinner, that means my hoodie will have more protections.
But you're not constantly. You're constantly removing your hoodie.
And my mask.
You shouldn't be removing your mask at all.
Oh, crack a dick. I'm sorry, I'm looking for anything, bud. Am I right, man?
I removed it or put that.
Daniel? Money signs? That's so Daniel. I didn't remove me. Hang on. Bro, it literally said Brent.
It didn't say Jordan or something.
What? And then you removed Brent. You removed me.
No.
Oh, wait. We didn't recognize. Only the basketball players will get this. Okay, so. Oh my god. I don't get it, man. We're doing that. Juicy JJ, sir. I thought your name going down.
Where are you, Brent?
Oh, nickname mistake. It's a Brent's name mistake.
Put Brent.
Look at it. Hey, John, did you get the queso thing? Yeah.
How many protons are in this? Oh.
Wait, that's going right yet?
Yeah.
Well, Rip. I'm gonna get it right. I'll get it right. Oh, it's close. Yeah, I already love the page.
It was this one I was supposed to put on.
Only the true OG basketball players can take it. Thomas. Like Michael, he don't understand the case. I'm gonna put the Snapchat name now. I'm gonna make a burner of fan page on Instagram. On God. On God. How many people would follow if I made? I would. I would. Fan page for burner. I would create it. I would never. I would. Orange Rizzy would be the most liked fan page. Description. On God. Okay, so
The atomic number is the number of what?
I'm gonna do this time.
The sum of or it's the number of protons.
Retard.
What subatomic particle determines the identity of the element?
It's you got it wrong.
It's a proton. How many protons or the atomic number tells you what atom it is. Of the following, the smallest and lightest subatomic particle is?
It is?
I'm guessing.
It has almost no mass.
That's why it fucked me out. Dude, it was literally 2 seconds.
So, this is the reason why the mass number only includes neutrons and protons. It's because the electron has so little mass it doesn't really contribute to the mass of the particle.
Did not know that. Like that's proton.
Okay, so.
In a neutral atom, the number of protons in a nucleus is balanced by an equal number of.
Oh, I don't know this one. Thomas, your name is.
So, to counteract the positive charges, you need to add negative charges. Electrons have negative charges.
How you get it wrong?
Nerd. Oh, wow. The real case on
Isotopes vary in the number of. Neutrons. They all have different numbers of neutrons.
Oh, and I can't do the proton because that's what makes it.
Yes. If you change the number of protons, you change the atom.
The board case doesn't really.
Which isotope has 11 protons and 12 neutrons? So, why did it count 2 correct answers?
I got it right. I'm not the only one that got that right.
So, the yellow one is wrong. It is, so 11 protons is sodium. And we know 11 plus 12 is 23, so it should have a mass number of 23.
Oh, I guess I need to see a number.
I got it right.
Thomas.
I'm still in 4th place, though.
You suck.
What is the atomic mass of oxygen isotope which has 8 neutrons? Oxygen is number 8. Y'all should really glance over y'all's periodic table and figure out where everything is and look at common atoms.
I know what everything is.
Yeah. I'm sure you do.
I do. Number 1 is.
Helium has an average mass of 4.0026. Which of these isotopes is the most common? So average mass averages the mass of all the isotopes.
Oh
So you can round that number to the to a whole number, and it usually tells you what's the most common.
John, the real case of like beating him. I'm 322.5.
Arsenic has an average mass of 74.992.
Boy, I'm gonna get this one right.
So what's the most common isotope?
76.
21. Did you 26, 76, 51?
No, I put 75.
Hey, one peso. Why you phone?
Which isotope has 14 protons and 15 neutrons?
I'm going.
I was about to do that. What?
2 people.
I hit exactly on the time. Zero, I clicked it.
Again, if you have, and put your mask on. Again, if you have your periodic table, you can pull it out.
I knew it was. I knew what it was saying. I knew what it was. I just hit it on the wrong time.
Alright, hold on. Leave my periodic table.
Look, shut.
So you should at least narrowed it down to 29 because that's the mass number, so the right side.
This mama only more 5 installments.
Exactly when I.
Also, guys, if you notice the fact there's 2 silicon, 2 SI, and one of them 2 29s. Keep your mask up.
There's probably 8 on the guess.
Keep your mask up.
You talking to me? Jeez, don't be dang.
Select the correct statement about subatomic particles.
I can't even read that.
Proton, almost out of time.
Can't read the. No! Oh, no!
So the mass of a neutron is nearly equal to the mass of a proton. They have about the same mass.
I hurt my ear, man. Why did they Why would you choose an electron as the heaviest particle?
How do the isotopes of hydrogen 1 and hydrogen 2 differ?
I don't know, I got it wrong, man. Oh, I chose the wrong one.
Hydrogen 2 has 1 neutron, while hydrogen 1 has none.
Your boy Queso.
You need to definitely edit this one to where longer time.
Your boy Queso. Yeah, boy. Wait, he beat Twinkie? Why is his name Twinkie Poo? Is that your actual name? Did anybody call you by that? Yes, I call him like Twinkie Poo.
I'll go to my college to call you by that. Who's that?
Can we do another Marvel? We're doing another Devil Girl. I know all this. You know what? I'm gonna make the most epic mask ever created.
Keep your mask on and stop playing with it.
Yes, sir. I know another game pin.
Just as many 8s.
9, 9, 8, 8, 1, 8, 9. Huh? Nickname, your boy Thomas. Your boy Sam. Oh my god, I hit backspace.
Thomas, you're taking too much time.
I didn't put it all the way. I was gonna put on God.
Put O and G.
Oh.
It's
Who developed the billiard ball model of the atom?
Four. You guys need us, dude.
So Democritus never really had a model. He just had an idea.
Yeah, he just terrorized it.
Dalton thought the atom was a solid sphere like a billiard ball. It's sometimes called the billiard ball model.
Your boy Queso on top. Dude.
Who did the go foil experiment?
Your boy's yellow.
What did the go foil experiment discover about atoms?
It's yellow, guys. Yellow.
They knew that he figured out that atoms have a nucleus and are mostly empty space. That's the 2 things he learned about the go foil experiment. That atoms have a nucleus and mostly empty space.
I got it wrong. I said the right answer.
Keep your mask on.
This one hurts my ears.
Like, put it around, don't just hold it.
Oh.
Quantum mechanical model is the most current model.
Oh my god. Let's go, queso.
Who discovered electrons? Thompson.
I'm still in 8th grade. Dude, behind me, behind me.
Which subatomic particle was discovered last?
I chose alpha. Am I right, Mr. West?
Neutron. So he discovered the nucleus by firing alpha particles. James Chadwick discovered the neutron by firing alpha particles also. So obviously alpha particles were already known before the neutron and the proton. Which scientist came up with the first atomic theory?
Oh, what is the third thing? Yeah, boy, Daniel top. What? What?
Democritus didn't really have a theory, he just had a thought experiment. I do understand how you could put Democritus. I won't ask this big of a trick question. Democritus first thought about atoms, but Dalton actually came up with an atomic theory. Yes. Oh. There's a difference between a theory and just a thought experiment. A theory is more concrete. Like, for example, the theory of gravity.
The theory of gravity, there is gravity, there's no theory.
Which model was based on thoughts and observations, but not actual experiments?
Oh my god, I hit a random one because my computer fucking. I chose Greek. I chose chemistry, I think.
So, no actual experiments were done to come up with the Greek model.
I got it right, Shane.
To answer your question about theory, theory is something that's concrete in physics science class. It's misused in common term.
What is planetary?
Like planets orbiting around the sun.
Oh. Yeah, boy, get behind me, Cody.
Which model describes the location of electrons as probable areas defined by math equations?
Oh, of course, that is the Greek. Got him.
Even showed a picture of it. So the electrons only have a probable area, not actual, or a probable location. Which scientist proposed the planetary model?
Huh? Can I get some German though?
Yeah, that'll be quick.
Hey,
Bohr's planetary model. It's usually just called the Bohr model, but planetary model or Bohr's planetary model with the atom is accepted too. The next question. Look at the image. What model does it represent? Plum pudding. Positive substance all around it with electrons scattered throughout it.
Your boy was right.
How are isotopes of the same element different?
Oh my god, I got
Whoa.
it. Oh, I just take tomorrow. I just take the rest. You know, that's all. I put this way. What about it?
I didn't even click on it. I live on the house and click
It's only in number of neutrons.
I feel like semen. The boy queso.
How many protons, neutrons, and electrons does the atom calcium 42 have?
Calcium. Hey, we all know it's triangle.
This one you didn't have to know the protons. All you have to do is add the protons and neutrons together and see they added to 42.
Well, then you could have got 21.
20 plus 22 is 42.
Yeah, but 21 by 21 is 42 also.
That wasn't a possible choice. Which isotope is more abundant?
Oh no, I got it wrong. Jesus, they don't like it. Hey, I got it right.
So because the average atomic mass is closer to 35, that tells you there's more chlorine 35 than chlorine 37. If you're constantly making 70s, your average is going to be around a 70.
My average is around 80, 90.
Which is the correct isotope symbol for an atom that has 19 protons, 20 neutrons, and 18 electrons? So this is an ion. We haven't really covered ions. Electrons and protons are different.
I guessed. Oh, I got it right. Oh, eat that.
So you add the protons and the neutrons together to get the mass number 39. Then you have to ask about what is the charge. You have one more positive charge than negative charges. This means you're going to have a +1 charge or 1 plus charge. And how we write ions is we put it in brackets and put the ion charge as a superscript above it.
Oh yeah, Brent got it wrong.
And I'm still gonna catch up.
Hey.
The smallest piece of an element that has the same properties is called?
Hey, I'm just saying, you're acting a junior and I'm a freshman and keeping up with you.
It's called the atom. It's the smallest bit of matter or an element that has the same properties as the rest of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How did I get more points than I had 10?
Because you were quicker.
I was coming from Brent very slow. These are the 5 questions.
So, which theory, who came up with the first atomic theory?
Your boy,
Dalton. What is the most, which model is the most current?
quantum mechanics.
Or what's some other names for it?
Quantum physics.
Wave model or electron cloud model? What did the gold foil experiment discover about atoms?
Something about more space.
It has empty space,
Oh yeah.
mostly empty space,
And discovered it.
and has a nucleus. Which model was based on thoughts and observations, but not actual experiments? That'd be the Greeks. Greeks didn't have any experiments; they just did thought experiments. So they never came up with a theory. In science, a theory is concrete. It's not like you use in layman terms. If you have a theory about something, and normally that means in real life, everyday conversation, you're probably wrong, or you're not sure if you're right. You have a theory about something. In science, when we have a theory, where we believe the theory is 100% true until we find some other evidence that says otherwise. So we have a current atomic theory. We're going to assume it's true until we find some more evidence to support it. And what happens if we find some evidence that contradicts it?
We keep testing it.
We test the evidence and confirm that it's true. And then we change our theory. Like we did with gravity. We had Newtonian gravity theory. Where we had this equation that described how gravity worked. It seemed very well, but we noticed that it didn't work with the planetary motion of Mercury. We noticed that Mercury's gravitational effects didn't line up with the theory. We tested it multiple times and confirmed that Newton's law was wrong. Einstein came along and proposed curved spacetime, general relativity. We tested his theory, and it turned out to be more accurate, so we switched theories and put your mask on. Cody?
Jeez, Cody. Starting us off. I don't know.
We only have time for one more. Do y'all want to do isotopes or more theory?
What theory? Theory.
I'm all in.
Which would pull off? Democratic. Oh, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. 30 seconds. 10
This one has some more difficult ones on it that I haven't gone into specifics. But let's see if y'all get it.
Of course, I'm gonna beat Brent because I'm better than Brent at baseball and basketball. That's count. That is very much count. Dang, Berman's better than him now. Berman's better than anything, than anyone at anything.
Anyone?
Yes. He's that game. No!
Thomas, I'm gone.
I didn't mean to put that dash though, the little slash.
Sorry for this.
Connor, did you finish our work menu yesterday?
Which Greek philosopher believed that all matter consisted of tiny particles called atoms?
Did you at least work on it? No. Why? Because y'all weren't
I didn't
there.
realize
You
it was
didn't do it if y'all weren't there. Woo! I thought it
Democritus.
I thought it was a trick question. I'll show you two.
Which Greek philosopher believed that all matter comes from 5 elements?
Earth, water, fire, dude. No.
So there's the 4 element, and some people also added a 5th element called ether. But it was Aristotle and Plato supported them, but it's Aristotle's theory. Who was known as the father of modern chemistry?
Thomas Jefferson.
Lord.
Anton Lavoisier?
Lavoisier.
Oh, goodness.
I was joking, I didn't know that. I was about to say, I obviously didn't say this person's name the entire time. I don't know who that is. It's obviously the wrong answer. But I'm even surprised I've never heard of this guy. I almost want to say this is wrong, but it could be right. He is widely considered a popular literature as the father of modern chemistry. Guys, I would have accepted John Dalton as an answer. He did modern chemistry. He began it. Apparently, though, this guy, whoever he is considered in popular literature.
Maybe. For the northerners.
Yeah.
Let's go, Daniel.
I don't teach the guy. Anyway, who proposed the law of conservation of mass?
I'm gonna go with what we see one. Lord Weatherford. Lord and Lord Lavoisier.
A lot of these
Hey, everybody!
Again, I honestly thought it was Dalton. So, his experiment supported the law of conservation of mass.
Francis taught
Let me look up Dalton in here. Surely Dalton appears somewhere.
Apparently, Antoine's daddy. What? It seems that we have a new daddy in the same form. Antoine of the Sea has created most of everything.
Alright. I've never heard of this guy. It seems Dalton gets a lot of the credit. Whoever created this seems to be more accurate.
The seer is better than everybody.
never even.
Who proposed the law of definite proportions? I do know this one.
Antoine.
I'm fairly sure I know this one.
I'm going to Antoine. He just said he knows it.
Yeah,
You know what?
Okay. I don't know this one. Alright. This is what I think is going on. I know that John Dalton looked at everyone else's research and proposed the idea of atoms. I'm fairly sure what Dalton has done is look at Antoine's and Joseph's work, stole it, and passed it off as himself. So let's look up this guy.
John Dalton is one friend.
All of these people are not the actual people who did all the work anyway. It's just what's taught and who's given the credit. So, I know Dalton used the law of conservation of mass and the law of definite proportions. What is the law of definite proportions, do you think this means? What is proportions?
Like one word.
So, when you're making a cake, you do it in certain proportions. You do like a cup of this to 2 cups of that. Law of definite proportions states basically there's 2 hydrogen for every 1 oxygen. John Dalton, I know, used the results of other scientists. What John Dalton did is he combed through hundreds of books on everyone else's results. He combed through them, he combined them, and realized that atoms had to exist. Apparently, though, he didn't come up with the major theories. He just looked at other people's results. The law of definite proportions states that everything is composed of different definite quantities, like 2 hydrogen for every 1 oxygen. Law of mass states that if you break water up, you'll go. So if you have 10 grams of water, you're going to end up with 1 gram of hydrogen and 9 grams of oxygen. That's chemistry. That's how it works out. It's always going to be a constant ratio. Who proposed the law of multiple proportions? I have no clue.
Oh my god!
So let's look up the law of multiple proportions. Yeah, it should have gave you a big hint that at this point I've given up, which means obviously it has to be John Dalton.
This guy's like psycho. This is big things.
States that if 2 elements form from one compound, from more than one compound between them, the ratios of the masses of the second, sometimes called Dalton's law. Oh. This is a more advanced one. So which part of Dalton's atomic theory was incorrect?
All of it.
This one should be easy.
I'm terrible with them.
Oh crap.
I wish that it would pop up the answer choices on y'all's computer too.
I guess it does that for some random person who can't just join.
So, the thing that he is incorrect about is atoms of a given element are always identical. We know about isotopes. That's the reason why I teach isotopes and the history at the same time. Is John Dalton was wrong about all the elements being identical. We know they can have different numbers of neutrons and still be the same element.
Oh, that was television first one now.
Who conducted the cathode array experiment?
Some doctor.
Robert Wilkins.
My boy Robert.
My boy Robert Wilkins. My boy Robert Wilkins.
What?
J.J. Thompson.
Nobody cares about him. We want Antoine back.
Antoine is my dad.
Who conducted the oil drop experiment?
Robert.
Robert Wilkins. Robert.
Oh wait.
I know this one. And it's not the guy we mentioned.
Antoine.
Robert Wilkins. Antoine.
Oh no.
I should teach the oil drop experiment by Robert Millikan. Do y'all know what the oil drop? This is an experiment that do not do this at the lake, as it can kill some of the fish.
I'm doing it in the lake.
Nice.
Me too.
I highly recommend doing it in a bathtub. But does anyone know what the oil drop experiment is? Bell's about the ring, but I want to explain this as how big is an atom?
Very tiny. Very tiny.
Do y'all know they actually calculated from a drop of oil how big an atom was? So what is volume? Let's say that we have a cylinder. What is the volume of the cylinder? What is an area of a circle?
70. 360.
Pi times r squared. And then we have some height right here. Now, what would happen if you have a humongous lake and you put a single drop of oil on it? It's going to spread out. So what we're going to end up having is a humongous cylinder. It's going to make almost a perfect circle. It's going to have some radius. We know that the area of a circle is pi r squared. And it's going to have some height. This height is going to be the width of the molecule. And they're able to, you can do this and actually calculate how big oil droplets are. The molecules of oil droplets.
I am down to try that. Yeah.
What you said?
Seriously, sorry.